Hello there. All right, so if you couldn't guess, today we're going to play Wipeout by the Surfaris. I have a guitar video up for this. It's in the links below, but this came in as a special bass request from a bass student of mine. So we're going to lay it out here, put it in YouTube land, and hopefully it benefits whoever may watch this. All right, so if you're just getting started out in song structure, and bass playing, this is going to be very helpful, because this song uses what's called a 12-bar blues pattern, which means we're going to play 12 measures on repeat. And here's the formula for it right here. So we're going to have 3 lines with 4 measures in each. The first line is 4 measures of all the Roman numeral 1 chord. The second line is going to be 2 measures of the Roman numeral 4 chord and 2 measures of the number 1 chord again. And then the last line, which is known as the turnaround, will have 1 measure of the 5 chord, 1 measure of the 4 chord, 1 measure of the 1 chord, and 1 more measure of the 5 chord. Then you go back to the top and you repeat. Now, what does that all mean? These Roman numerals, these capital Roman numerals, indicate major chords. And then we can plug and play based on what key we're going to play in. And this song is in the key of B. So in the key of B, the number 1 chord is B. Number 2 would be C, technically C sharp. Number 3 would be D, or actually D sharp. So we're about to find out what chord number 4 is. B, C, D. It is E, E natural. After that is the number 5 chord, which would be F, but in this case it's F sharp. So then you take that formula, 1 1 1 1, 4 4 1 1, 5 4 1 5 pattern, and in that first line, all those 1s get replaced with Bs. All the 4s get replaced with E's. And all the 5s get replaced with F sharps. All right, so now we just need to know where to find these root notes, and then we'll get to the intervals that are contained within that make the riff the riff. All right, so here are the root notes. So to start off, I'm going to play B at the 3rd string from the ground, 1, 2, 3, F fret number 2. That's the A string, and I'm playing at the 2nd fret, which gives me a B note. For chord number 4, that's going to be E. I'm just going to play string number 4, open. So that's the string closest to the ceiling and the lowest note you can play in standard tuning on the bass. For the 5 chord, there's going to be 2 frets above it, so it's on the 2nd fret of string 4. That's my F sharp. All right, so I'm going to use that pattern to play just root notes in a 12-bar blues fashion. You ready? This is going to be about 120 beats per minute. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. That's B, a second B, another B, 1 more B, to the E. That's the 4 chord again, back to B. 2, 3, 4, another B. Here's the turnaround, F sharp, to the E, to the B, back to F sharp. And then it tends to want to resolve back to a B. All right, so we found our root notes. Now I can also play, and within the song, I'm going to play a different root note for E when I'm playing the riff. So I'm going to play that an octave above this open E. Easiest way to find an octave, it's a perfect interval. It's going to be 2 strings towards the ground, 2 frets towards the body. So basically I'm going to go to string number 2 and up to fret number 2. That's an E. 2 frets above that will give me my F sharp. So within each one of these chords is a pattern. So we're going to lay out a simple pattern for each chord, and then we'll work on connecting these chords, and we'll do some play-alongs to it. All right, so the one that pops up the most in the song is B. So I'm going to start with that B. Then I'm going to play basically 3 intervals off this. The first interval I'm going to play is what's known as the dominant 7th. Easy to find that by just going 2 frets below it. So I'm going to think of this number 1 note as note number 8, an octave above it. 1 and 8 are the same. So I would just go 2 frets. So 8 minus 1 gives me 7, which means I'm going to go from B to the previous letter in the alphabet, which would be A. So I'm playing open string number 3 for that dominant 7A. B, A. My other interval will be the perfect 5th of B. And if you remember, that would be the root note for chord number 5. So B's perfect 5th is the F sharp. The only other interval I need in this riff is going to be the major seventh, which is going to be between the dominant seventh and the root note, which will be the first fret of the A string, which gives me an A sharp. You could also call this B flat, but because we're in the key of B, we're going to call it A sharp. So we have an A and an A sharp onto B. All right, and here's how I'm going to lay them out. I'm going to play the B twice. A, that's the dominant seventh, to the F sharp twice, back to the A sharp, B. So that's B, B, A, F sharp, A sharp, B. Rhythm-wise, it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Now I can use this pattern on all the other chords in relationship to their root notes. So if I want to do this with the E chord, I can use that second fret of string 2 for E. Basically, I'm going to play the same pattern, but just one grouping of strings towards the ground. In this case, I'd play the E. Its dominant seventh would be 2 frets below that. That's the open D on string 2. And its perfect fifth will be the B on the second fret of string 3. And its major seventh will be the first fret of the D string for a D sharp. And you'll notice we're going to play the same fret relationship, but again on a different set of strings. E, D, B, D, D sharp, E. And if I want to do this with the F sharp chord, I would just move that whole pattern up from the E 2 frets. So I'll play the 4th fret of string 2, that's my F sharp. Its dominant seventh is a whole step below it, or 2 frets below it. That's the 2nd fret E note. Its perfect fifth, the lower octave of the perfect fifth, which can also be called a 4th below. Music theory stuff just to plant seeds in your brain. Will be the C sharp at the 4th fret of string number 1, 2, 3. And we don't play its major seventh, but if we did, it would be this B flat note. But again, we'd probably call it E sharp. And why am I calling it that? It's actually an F note. Scratch the B flat, an E sharp thing. You can call it E sharp, but it is the F natural. But since we have an F sharp, we might call it E sharp in this case. All right, so now that you got that pattern down, you'd think, okay, well, if I play that, it would probably sound like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. B. It's weird to play it like that. So just scratch what I just did. All right, so now as I play this, we're going to connect the chords. So if you notice, we got those 4 measures of B. In the 4th measure, we're going to do something a little different to connect it to the E chord. So I'll play it 1 time. Those 2 times, 3 times. And then the 4th time, I'll play the B, A, F sharp. And then from the F sharp, I'm going to prep up to get to the E by rolling out back to the B, and then chromatically walking up the D string, D, D sharp, on my way to E. So that last measure of B would be B, B, A, F sharp, B, D, D sharp, E. And another connector would be to take the E back to the B. And then here's the connector. I'd play E, A, B, and roll the B over to the F sharp and walk it up the A string back to B. So E, D, B, E, D, B, F sharp, A sharp, B. That's my turnaround, that's my transition back to the B chord. Now when I want to go from the B to the F sharp, here's my connector. I'll play B and just the way I connected it to E before, I'll roll it back over to the B, the open D string, string number 2. Then I'll go right for the E now. I'll skip over that D sharp and go right to the E on my way up to F sharp. So it'll be 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. And then when I'm on the F sharp chord, it's a little different than the other 2 chords that we've established already. I'm just going to play the root, dominant 7th, perfect 5th, back to the root. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And then the E, I'm going to transition it back to the B. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. And on the B, I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3, and on 4 and I'm going to play the B, A, to get me back to the F sharp. And the last measure, which is F sharp, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Back to the B to close it out. Alright, so that pattern at 120 beats per minute, and if this is too fast, use the YouTube function to slow it down to 3/4 speed. Also do one more play along at 155 beats per minute, which is about the full tempo, and you can slow that one down too as well. Alright, so here will be one run through on this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. To another B, 2, 3, 4, 1 to another E, 2, 3, 4, back to the B, 2, 3, 4, here comes the F sharp, to the E, to the B, back to F sharp. All right, and then we'll do one more play along at about the full tempo, which is about 155 beats per minute. I'll try not to mess this up, but if I do, just know I'm human, you're human. It happens. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Alright, so I should give you a rough snapshot of how to play this. Now, this video got a little long, but I just wanted to get into an explanation of how to play a 1-4-5 pattern and then what you can do within each chord in that pattern, and then also how to connect it. This is a great song for it. Come back, watch this video as many times as you need, and if you feel like you mastered this, come back, make some requests in the comments section, or come back and check out some other videos that are here on the page. Alright, thanks for joining me. Have an awesome day, and most importantly, have fun.